Buzz, welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the heart of K-pop, uncovering stories, songs, and secrets that make our favorite groups who they really are. Today, we're talking about something that honestly doesn't get enough love in the mainstream conversation. Stray Kids B-sides. Yep, those hidden gems that are sitting quietly in their albums while everyone else is busy blasting God's Menu or Thunderous. Don't get me wrong, I love those title tracks as much as The Next Stay. But if you only stick with the singles, you're literally skipping over some of the best artistry this group has to offer. Think of it like this. Title tracks are like the movie trailer. Explosive, flashy, made to grab attention. But B-sides? That's the full story. That's where Stray Kids put it in their little experiments, their midnight thoughts, their playful energy that doesn't always fit into a chart-topping single. And because 3RACHA, Bang Chan, Changbin, and Han are behind so much of the songwriting and production, these songs feel deeply personal, almost like you're reading their diary in music form. Now, if you've ever wondered, okay, but why should I care about B-sides? Here's my take. This is where you really meet the artist. Singles are about reaching the widest possible audience, but B-sides? That's where you hear Stray Kids stretch into R&B, experiment with punk rap, or even serve up ballads that will make you stare at your ceiling at 3 a.m. wondering about your life choices. Critics and fans alike have said this for years. If you're not diving into B-sides, you're only seeing half the picture. And honestly, as someone who's spent way too many late nights looping songs like Insomnia, I couldn't agree more. So let's start with a little track that feels like an espresso shot of positivity, Blueprint. Now, here's the thing, it's under 2 minutes long, which means if you blink, you might miss it. But in those 2 minutes, Stray Kids basically give you the musical equivalent of a pep talk. Felix and the vocal line really shine here, and the way the rap line passes the emotional baton feels seamless. Every time I listen, I feel like I'm being reminded that yes, life is messy, but there's always room for stubborn hope. And I want to know from you guys, do you think shorter songs like Blueprint hit harder? Or do you prefer a full 3 to 4 minute track to sink into? Personally, I love the compact punch of it. Now, swinging to the other side of the emotional spectrum, we've got Insomnia. Let me just say, this song is a late masterpiece. From the IMHO era, it dives into that restless, slightly cinematic space of being awake when you don't want to be. And it's not just about sleepless nights, it's about everything that keeps your brain spinning. Lyrically, it's honest, but it doesn't cross into melodramatic territory, which makes it feel real. Honestly, this is the song that makes me feel like Stray Kids are sitting next to me at 2 a.m. saying, hey, you're not alone. I'd actually love to hear in the comments, what's your go-to 2 a.m. Stray Kids track? For me, Insomnia is always on that playlist. All right, let's talk Pacemaker. This one often flies under the radar because it doesn't scream arena anthem. But here's the beauty of it. The production is so clean and so intentionally detailed that you really need headphones to catch everything. The percussion keeps you slightly off balance in the best way, while the vocals slide in like bright threads weaving through darker fabric. For me, it's one of those songs where you think, okay, this is Stray Kids flexing their technical muscles. It might not be the one you scream at the top of your lungs, but it's one you end up respecting more and more with each listen. And I'm curious, do you guys lean toward the hyped up tracks? Or do you enjoy when SKZ gets subtle and precise like this? Now shifting gears, let's get into The View. If you think Stray Kids are only about power, grit, and high-octane energy, The View is the track that'll surprise you. It's chill, it's groovy, it leans into R&B vibes, and it's all about perspective and connection. Honestly, this is the kind of track I want playing during a long drive at sunset. What I really love about it is the use of space in the arrangement. It doesn't overstuff itself. Instead, it lets the vocals breathe, and that makes the emotions land harder. If you're someone who thought Stray Kids couldn't pull off a vibe track, The View proves otherwise. But let's not forget about Domino. Oh man, this one is pure adrenaline. Even though it's technically a B-side, it's been performed on stage and is a total fan favorite live. The metallic percussion, the hip-hop swagger, and Han's ad-libs? absolute chef's kiss. This is the kind of track that makes me want to get up and shadowbox in my room like I'm training for a fight scene. What's crazy is how it never fully broke into the wider playlists, even though the energy is unmatched. Honestly, I think it deserved way more spotlight than it got. If you've seen Stray Kids perform Domino live, you already know it's a whole different level. And just to balance things out, let's go soft again with Another Day. This track reminds me why I love Stray Kids beyond their explosive moments. It's storytelling at its finest, gentle, patient, and warm. Sometimes I feel like songs like this get overlooked because they don't have that instant wow factor. But they're the ones that grow roots in your heart over time. For me, it's the perfect late-night comfort song. Not flashy, not viral, but it feels like a warm blanket. And honestly, I think every fandom needs those quieter tracks to balance out the chaos. Now let's dive into one of the quirkiest and most experimental B-sides in their catalog, Tortoise and the Hare. I love this track because it's not just a song, it's basically a modern-day fable set to music. The way Stray Kids flip such a classic story into something about anxieties, victories, and pacing yourself in life is honestly genius. And musically, it's all over the place in the best way. The tempo shifts, the mood swings, and the energy make you feel like you're running alongside the metaphor itself. And let's be real, who else but Stray Kids could take something that sounds like a children's tale and turn it into a layered, experimental piece of pop rap art? It's playful, it's bold, and it's underrated because some people don't know how to take it seriously. But that's exactly what makes it so fun. Speaking of overlooked, let's not skip Easy. This one kind of lived in the shadow of God's Menu during the Go Live era, and I get why. God's Menu was a cultural reset, but Easy is that slick, minimalist swagger track that you don't appreciate until you really pay attention. It's chill, but confident, like Stray Kids just walking into the room, knowing they own it. Personally, I think it works perfectly as a counterbalance to the more explosive songs. It's not trying to knock you over, it's trying to slide under your skin with attitude. For me, it's the track you play when you want to feel effortlessly cool without even trying. I'd actually love to hear what you guys think. Do you think Easy deserved more promo? Or are you okay with it staying in the hidden gem category? Now, for those who appreciate subtlety, Awkward Silence is where it's at. This track doesn't scream for your attention, it whispers until you're hooked. It's all about textures and layers. Little synth touches, breathy vocals, and tiny production details that you only catch on the fourth or fifth listen. To me, that's the magic of a good B-side. It doesn't overwhelm you at first, but it sneaks into your playlist and refuses to leave. In a world where everything is about instant gratification, Awkward Silence is proof that slow burns still exist. Honestly, I think this track could convert a casual listener into a stay if they give it the patience it deserves. And then there's Phobia. Woo, where do I even start with this one? Dark, synth-heavy, and lyrically raw, Phobia takes you straight into the heart of anxiety and fear. What I love about it is that it doesn't just sound intense, it feels intense. The industrial edges in the production mirror the unease in the lyrics, making it one of the most immersive songs in their discography. It's definitely not the type of track that'll go viral on TikTok, but for listeners who connect with it, it's deeply powerful. Personally, Phobia sits in that category of songs I only play when I'm ready to feel something heavy. And I want to know from you, do you gravitate more towards Stray Kids hype tracks? Or do you secretly prefer the darker, more introspective side of their music? Now, if you're just starting your B-side journey, here's my little tip. Don't just hit shuffle. Pick one album era and listen straight through. Stray Kids are masters at pacing. They know how to set up the highs and lows so the B-sides complement the singles. And please, for the love of music, wear headphones. Tracks like Pacemaker, Phobia, and Awkward Silence come alive in ways you'll completely miss on cheap speakers. Trust me on that one. Oh, and try the late night test. Some of these songs hit differently when the world is quiet, especially Insomnia and Another Day. And if you really want to see why fans love certain B-sides so much, watch the live stages. Domino especially, it's one thing on the album, but a whole other beast on stage. The energy, the rearrangements, the way they throw themselves into it, that's when you understand why stays swear by these tracks. The cool part is, critics and fans actually agree on this. Outlets like Alternative Press, Teen Vogue, and All Pop have all put out features on underrated Stray Kids songs. And guess what? The overlap with fan-favorite B-sides is massive. That tells me these songs aren't just hidden gems for hardcore stays. They're genuinely recognized as some of the most creative work Stray Kids have put out. But the mainstream conversation? Still too focused on title tracks. And maybe that's fine, because B-sides kind of feel like a secret handshake between the band and us, the listeners. So if you're ready to start your B-side playlist, here's a starter pack. Blueprint, Insomnia, Pacemaker, The View, Domino, Another Day, Tortoise in the Hair, Easy, Awkward Silence, and Phobia. That's 10 tracks that cover different moods, vibes, and stories. Play them back to back, and you'll see just how much range this group has outside the singles. Here's my final thought. Stray Kids B-sides aren't just filler. They're the music the group makes when they don't have to chase charts or viral moments. They're rawer, softer, stranger, and sometimes more honest than the singles. And for me, that's what makes them so special. Listening to B-sides feels like being let in on a secret, like you're getting to know the real Stray Kids beyond the stage lights and camera angles. But now I want to turn it over to you. Which Stray Kids B-side do you think deserves way more recognition? Is there a track you've been quietly obsessed with that you wish more people talked about? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I want to build the ultimate underrated Stray Kids B-side playlist together. And as always, if you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and join the Buzz fam for more conversations like this. This has been Anyang Buzz, and until next time, keep listening, keep vibing, and don't sleep on those B-sides.